Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus A330 pilot and welcome to another flight in the towless A340-600. Today we'll take off from Madrid to Mexico City, which is going to be an 11.5-hour flight, heading across the Atlantic, the United States, and then into a wonderful hot and high Mexico City. Looking forward to this one, especially with the towless custom flight dynamics, to see how the airplane is going to behave at the high level airport. But for the time being, I'd say let's go on board and then we can start working on our aircraft at first. We're gonna start with a very quick look into our flight plan, for which we are going to use SimBrief. So we are going to depart from Madrid and then head out into the Atlantic, all the way over until we make landfall roundabout over New York City and then across the United States and down into Mexico. The significant weather chart for the first part of our flight does come with a little bit of turbulence here, numbers 1 and 3, which are severe turbulence for that area down here, and then moderate turbulence in that area in front and the back. Then we are going to cross the Atlantic, flying south of the tracks today, all the way to the other side, area numbers 2 and 3, which is again severe turbulence and moderate turbulence. But that long area number 2 here, that's a little bit concerning for us, since they forecast severe turbulence for about a complete hour of flight. So there is a certain chance that it may strike. So we'll be rather careful with the fasten seatbelt sign today. Finally, once we are on the other side, we've got a little bit of that area number 2 over here, which is moderate turbulence. So overall, I think we can say this is going to be a rather turbulent flight today. Looking into the weather now, we are going to depart Madrid in clear skies and a temperature of 17 degrees centigrade. And then over Mexico City, we are looking at generally good weather, maybe a little bit hazy, a little bit cloudy, but overall beautiful conditions with runway 05 being active. Our first outlet in Acapulco is quite good today, and all the others, Guadalajara, etc., are pretty good as well. Now, having a look into the flight plan, departing Madrid at 10:55 UTC, we are going to arrive 45 minutes ahead of schedule in Mexico City. The weights are not limiting at all today, and we'll be cruising in level 320 at first, and then later on going all the way up to flight level 380. Now, going a little bit further down in our flight plan, we can go right over to the fuel section, and we gotta ask ourselves, do we need any extra today? 110.3 is the minimum takeoff fuel plus taxi, so basically make the 111 tons of fuel, and I tell you honestly, I'm completely happy with that, so we are gonna take 111 tons. Alright, with all of that in mind, let's go ahead and start our setup. So the engine masters are off, start selector norm, weather radar is off, landing gear lever is down, wipers are off, battery voltage more than 25.5 on each of those batteries. Okay, let's move up to the APU fire tests, which is looking good. Then just make sure that our radios are actually turned up, which they are, but let's not blast our ears over there. That's looking good. It's quite warm today, so we don't actually need to consider actually starting the APU yet. So RS is coming online. Then let's go right down here, and well, we should still have the doors attached, or the jetway attached, so let's disarm those slides, keep the doors open for the time being. So for Navigraph, let's go ahead and grab our charts. We're looking for a Lima Echo Mike Delta today, and we are going to start finding the SID chart because, well, you can have probably already guessed it, it would be a little problematic actually finding the correct one. 36 left is the departure runway, Zulu Mike Romeo 2 November departure. So let's go ahead and scroll through this stuff a bit. There's a couple Zulu Mike Romeos, we are looking for the 2 November one. That one? Probably not. 4 November. If you guys see it, do let me know. Here it is. Perfect. Okay, then we also need a taxi chart and a general ground chart. Far too many briefing charts, have I ever mentioned that? Okay, let's take the general airport chart, and then we got the parking stands up here, which is parking stands terminal 4 and part of 4 Sierra. Okay, so let's find that one. Parking stands, terminal 4, that's gotta be it. And that is it. Alright, perfect. So those are the charts that we need for today's departure. Wonderful. Now let's move on and grab ourselves the current data. So AOC menu, flight in it is on the way. In the meantime, up here we got an A340-600, Trent 556 engines, and the nav database is also up to date at the time of the recording. And here we go. That looks like the flight plan has uplinked. Then let's move down into the weather and ADAS screen and just request the current METARs, please. So received messages down here. METAR, Lima Echo Mike Delta. That's 3502, clear skies 121008. So that's 1008 set once, set twice, and set 3 times. Lovely. 111.1, that looks correct to me. Down here everything's good, 12 degrees. Yeah, I tell you what, let's start the APU just so that we get some air conditioning going right now. Come on. Here we go, APU is coming. Okay, lovely. So all that good stuff is done. Now let's go for the takeoff performance. We'll be departing Madrid, runway 36 left. The weather is automatically uplinked. Takeoff weight, what do we got down here? Let's see, this looks rather good. Fuel on board looks good as well. So that's a takeoff weight of 345.6. And in here we got 346.7. Yeah, good enough for me. Compute. Flaps 2, flags 44. All the figures looking good. Restricting takeoff weight 380.0. So we know we can depart. Wonderful, that's all looking fantastic. So going back down here, recall for 3 seconds is looking good, and we've done the takeoff calculation. It's an A340-600 in the standard equipment, and then we've got sufficient oxygen, sufficient hydraulics. Let's go ahead and power the FADEX so that we can check for the oil. And the oil quantity is looking good for the entire flight. Little bug there. Pressing the FADEC buttons again should actually turn the FADEC off. Looks like they aren't doing that right now. So yep, that's a bug. Anyway, they will turn off automatically a little bit later. Alright, lovely. So all the good stuff is done up here. Then let's get right into the cockpit preparation procedure. So you come on, you are on. That thing goes in capped. Up here everything is set. Then we got the middle. So batteries off and on again, and they're all charging correctly, just like they should. So refueling is complete, pumps are on, and the fire test is looking good. On the right hand side everything is set, CDR test is functioning, and everything works. Alright, then let's move down here, 18th of March 2026, and up here everything is set. Down here as well, multiscan and GCS should be in auto with the weather radar selected slightly up and weather and turbulence pre-selected. Middle is set, right side should be on TCAS above, and we are flying from the left seat, so transponder is going to go on number 1. And then let's go ahead and get started with our FMS. So yeah, sign me in please. Thank you. Ooh. Okay, wonderful. Here we go. So getting started. We got an A340-600, Trent engines, nav DV is up to date. Lima Echo Mike Delta to triple Mike X-ray, alternate Mike Yankee. No, it's Mike Alpha. I think that is the bug that causes the wind uplink to fail, so I am actually gonna ignore it for now, but we will change the alternate fuel anyway. The rest is looking good, so on for the flight plan. We are departing from Madrid on runway 36 left via the Zulu Mike Romeo 2 November departure, which is this one. And insert, and then we're arriving in Mexico City with an ILS approach, runway 05 right, and I think it is the Zulu approach down here. Our star is the Inaga 3 Alpha. which is this one, and the rest is looking fantastic. Okay, insert. So then let's go ahead and cross-check our SID. Zulu Mike Romeo 2 November. By the way, why is that vanishing from down here when I click on it? That's not supposed to happen. So we actually found the chart, and for what? Is it on here? No. Oh god, here it is. Now that stuff starts again. That's why I don't like the way that Tolus is doing this. Okay, so straight ahead, fly over SS Reyes, maximum 205 above 2400. And that's what we got. Then via 901 to 912, max 220 above 7000. And we got 901, 912 to 27,000. Then left turn via Disco in 13,000 to Zamora in 13,000, and we got all of those. Excellent, so that stuff is already looking very good. Maintain 13,000. Like that. Okay, good. So with that stuff is checked, then let's move on a bit and have a look at our North Atlantic waypoints. So starting down here, we got 44 north, 20 west, which is checked. Then we have 42 north, 30 west, checked. 40 north, 40 west, checked. 35 north, 50 west, checked, and sorry. So let's have a look. 4420 is indeed 4420. Then we got 4230, which is checked. 4040, checked. 3950, checked. And that is all looking fantastic. Okay, then let's go for the secondary flight plan, and this may be an interesting one. So let's start on Blackbox 711's website and see if we can find anything for Madrid, which indeed we can. Alright, so here we are. Lots of data on here. The one we're looking for is the engine out, 36 left. 8 DME Bravo Romeo Alpha, left turn Golf Echo, and hold. Okay, so Bravo Romeo Alpha, where is that thing located? It's not the one at the field, so that makes it a bit difficult. I suppose we're gonna fly that thing. I suppose we're just gonna fly that thing raw data, are we? So Bravo Romeo Alpha and Golf Echo. Let's see, down here we can surely type in Golf Echo, like that. We're holding for that one, that's all looking good. And then return to Lima Echo Mike Delta as new destination. And that's going to be runway 32 left with the ILS Zulu. Okay, insert. And here we go, that looks fantastic. So what we'll do, going back to the flight plan page, is to go fix info. Then we have Lima Echo Mike Delta 36 left. Now we do need the runway heading, which seems to be exactly 360. Where is it? Yeah, that looks correct, 360. Like that. And then we do need Bravo Romeo Alpha with an 8-mile ring, and finally Golf Echo, like that. And for the Radmouth page we'll take Bravo Romeo Alpha and Golf Echo, like that. Alright, fantastic, then we are pretty much set up over here, so let's go right up here. You're gonna go into the ADF, and we'll take VOR ADF, and the same on your side, just so that we got that stuff all set up already. Cool. So on to the init B page, and over here we are looking at 235.7. We'll just let the CG stand for itself. Now I'm not sure what's going wrong with those uplinks there, but 0.8, then the reserves are 2.0 9, alternate 4.5, and final 4. Like that, giving us 34 minutes extra. Now this is probably without the wind uplink yet, so let's go ahead and do the wind uplink. Here we go. And that is good. Now we can also change that alternate, Mike Alpha Alpha. Here we go. And now let's have another look at the fuel prediction. 22 minutes extra, and we're looking at 11 hours and 21 flight time versus 11 hours and 24 flight time. That is fantastic, isn't it? Alright, cool. So that stuff is in there. Then let's go on with our performance calculation. And we got a flaps 2 takeoff at 44 degrees. So flaps 2 and 44, and the speeds 62, 73, 79. Okay, now let's check for the noise abatement. According to Blackbox, the noise abatement procedure is number 1, with a thrust reduction in 3500 and the acceleration in 5000. So 3500 and 5000. Like that, and then the engine out acceleration will be in 4000, like this. Okay, good. So there's nothing over here, and AMD 36 left, going down in here, cruising 330, optimum 317. I'll tell you what, we'll change the cruise level to 320 straight away, and then we are good to go. Alright, and with that, we have done everything down here, so let's go on to ATC-COM. Method record is checked, erased, then connection and status. All disconnected, and reports, auto position report is off. Okay, lovely. So with that, we are done with the setup down here. Okay, so let's move right up here. So EFIS is set, FCU is set, and you can have constraints on the right hand side, the rest is set. Lovely. Just clearing that GPS primary down there. Alright, cool. So we've checked everything. Alright, then I'd say let's go ahead and grab our departure clearance up next. So, Navigraph, recent charts, airport. Look at how they simply vanish. Well, that's not right, is it? Alright, let's find that airport chart once again. Here it is. So, airport chart. Clearance delivery. We're on the east side, 130.08. That's got to be that one. And then we just need the ATIS, 130.855. Which is this one. Okay, now let's just ensure that we can actually hear something. I think I turned it off in the video editor just so that we don't get all of those ATCs going on. Here it is.
And in-flight following is requested. Read all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Yankee.
Alright, information Yankee. We got the weather on board. Delivery, good morning, Iberia 6403, information Yankee, request IFR clearance to Mexico City.
Clearance on request, you're number 1.
Okay, they're working on it.
Iberia 6403, cleared to Mexico City via the Zamora 2 November departure, runway 36 left. Initial climb to flight level 130, departure on 124.23 squawk 3475.
Oh, come on. 3, 4, 7, 5. Iberia 6403 is cleared to Mexico City via the Zamora 2 November departure, runway 36 left, climbing flight level 130, departure 124.23, squawk 3475. So 36 left, Zamora 2 November, 130.
Ground will be on 121.908.
121.908, Iberia 6403. Okay, lovely. So we got that stuff. Then the departure frequency 12423. I'm just gonna put that down here. Oh, that might have been a bit fast.
603, not clear what you said. Say again.
No, lovely. VHF3 doesn't support 8.33 kilohertz. No comment. Okay, anyway, squawk is in there, the rest is all done, so let's go right into the departure briefing, please. We'll be departing Madrid, runway 36 left, Zamora 2 November departure, climbing flight level 130. The highest MSA in the departure area is, I think, 10,000 feet, and extra fuel and time, we've got 22 minutes. That's all checked. Now our departure has no hotspots for the taxi out. Stop margin for rejected takeoff is 422 meters, and the engine out sits straight out to 8 DME from Barajas, and then a left turn to Golf Echo to pick up the holding over there. Our standard return is runway 32 left. We are rather heavy today, 348.7. Let's just see if we can actually do that. So that's gonna be Lima Echo Mike Delta, runway 23 left. The weather over there is looking correct. We are quite full. Compute, yeah. Auto brake is too low though. Let's do high. Yeah, we can land. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Alright, lovely. So there's that. So immediate return back here is possible. But for anything where we do have time available, so basically anything where the plane is not on fire, we'll just enter the holding and figure out what we are going to do. Now, for that departure sector of ours, the holding in, let's see where that is, it's somewhere down here, so I tell you what, we don't need to climb 10,000 for that. Something like 6,000 is going to keep us fine as long as we are not flying up into the north. Over here we got mountains up to 8,000. That is really where the problem lies. Okay, lovely. So that's that part. Now we do have the 220 knot restriction for that. Let's have a look. Clean speed is 247. No, sorry, flap 1 speed is 247. So we got to keep those flaps extended in the takeoff configuration all the way until we are clear that 220 knot restriction. So down here I got nothing special. We are able to meet all the altitude restrictions, and that's pretty much it. Do you have any threats? Nope. Alright, so that's our departure briefing complete. Come on, what is the view doing there? Here we go. Cockpit preparation checklist. Gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity is 110,920 kilos, and that's balanced. Seatbelts on, ADRs, nav, and the QNH. The barrel ref is a QNH off. Let's just check that once again. 1007 it should be. Okay, here we go. QNH 1007. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel, and in the name of Iberia, welcome aboard our Airbus A340-600 on our flight to Mexico City. We're expecting some occasional turbulence on today's flight, so I do ask you to keep the seatbelt fastened even when you're in your seat and the fasten seatbelt sign is turned off, and to stay in your seat with the seatbelt fastened whenever the fasten seatbelt sign is turned on. Now, we are expecting a flight time of 11 hours and 20 minutes today, meaning that we are going to arrive in Mexico City about 45 minutes ahead of schedule. Thank you very much for being our guests. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. If there is anything we can do for you to make it more enjoyable, please do not hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew members. And for the time being, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. Ground from flight deck. So please confirm that all the doors and hatches are closed, and all the ground equipment is removed, and the bypass pin is installed. That's all confirmed, Captain. Okay, thank you very much. Do you have the final load sheet? Yes, we do. Roger. So we got a zero fuel weight up here of 235.7, and that is all loaded, and the CG is 24.8. So we're looking at 235.7, 24.8, that's checked. Takeoff weight 345.9, and that is also checked. And that all gives us a trim of 2.6 units. So up 2.6, and that's our preparations complete. Okay, lovely. So let's go ahead and call for pushback clearance. Ground Iberia 6403 Heavy, request pushback and startup.
Iberia 6403, pushback and startup approved, face south.
Pushback and startup approved, facing south, Iberia 6403. Okay, before start checklist, park and brake, set, takeoff speeds and thrust, V1 162, VR 173, V2 179, flex 44, windows, closed, bacon, tasty, before start checklist complete. Okay, ground from cockpit, pushback and startup approved, facing south, and the park and brake is set. Roger, please release your park and brake. Park and brake released, you're clear to start the pushback, and we are standing by for your signal to commence engine start. Okay, that's 2 minutes delayed, in other words, we are completely on time. And here we go. Right now it's not busy at the holding point at all. That was quite different when we started the video, so I'd say this is going to be an easy one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Iberia Flight 6403, departing from Barajas Airport and heading to Aeropuerto Internacional Ixi Benito Juarez. Our estimated flight time is 11 hours and 25 minutes. Please pay close attention to the upcoming safety demonstration, as it contains important information even for our frequent flyers. Fasten your seatbelts by inserting the metal.
Alright, we're clear of the red line, and then we can commence engine start. Sequence is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Please return your seatbacks and tray tables to the upright position and open your window blinds for
Engine 1 start.
Mobile phones and electronic devices must be set to flight mode, and larger devices should be securely
Engine 2 start.
Smoking and the use of e-cigarettes are prohibited anywhere on board, including the lavatories. Oxygen masks will drop automatically if needed. Pull the mask firmly. Place it over your nose and mouth and breathe normally. Remember to secure your own mask before assisting others. Life vests are located under your seat. Put it on and inflate it only after leaving the aircraft. Floor-level lighting will guide you to the nearest exit, which may be behind you. In case of evacuation, please leave all personal belongings behind and follow all safety instructions from the crew. If any electronic device becomes hot or shows signs of damage, please inform a crew member immediately. For more details, refer to the safety information card in your seat pocket. Thank you for your attention, and we wish you a pleasant flight.
Okay, we have 2 good starts, starting engines 3 and 4. Clear 3, 4. So, engine 3 start. Engine 4 start. And the pushback is completed, set park and brakes. Park and brake set.
Iberia 271 ready to taxi. Iberia 271, runway 36 left taxi via November, Bravo November 1, Zulu 3. Runway 36 left taxi via November.
So
Bravo,
3 is
November 1,
available,
Zulu 3,
and 4 is available. Okay, ground, we've got 4 good starts. You're clear to disconnect. Please show me the pin on the left side and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Man, that click spot is pretty hard to hit. Okay, so 28.3% of trim, that is looking good. Okay. And here's the ramp agent with a pin after start checklist. Anti-ice, off, ecam status, check, pitch trim 28.3%, rudder trim, neutral, after start checklist complete. Flight controls, full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, and neutral. Iberia 6403 Heavy, request taxi.
Iberia 6403, runway 36 left taxi via Echo Alpha 6, Echo Alpha 5, gate 12, Golf 12, Bravo 4, Zulu 3.
Taxi 36 left via Echo Alpha 5, Echo Alpha 6, and Bravo Zulu. Please say again. Say again.
Iberia 6403, runway 36 left taxi via Echo Alpha 6, Echo Alpha 5, gate 12, Golf 12, Bravo 4, Zulu 3.
Taxi 36 left via Echo Alpha 6, Echo Alpha 5, Golf 12, Bravo 4, Zulu 3, Iberia 6403. Echo Alpha 6. Probably over here on the Echo Alpha. Where is Zulu 4? Makes no sense. Yeah, this is not a good shot. Let's find the correct one.
Iberia 08 Kilo Charlie, runway 36 right taxi via Echo Charlie, November, Yankee 2. Runway 36 right taxi via Echo
So Echo Alpha 6,
November, Yankee 2,
Echo Alpha
Iberia
5,
08 Kilo Charlie.
Gate 12,
Iberia 137 ready to taxi. Iberia 137, runway 36.
then it should be Bravo 4, Zulu 3. Okay, Bravo 4, Zulu 3. Okay, easy. Straight ahead. This. Alright. We can definitely do that.
Echo Alpha 5, Gate 12, Golf 12, Bravo 4, Zulu 3, Iberia 137. Echo Charlie Bravo Echo Quebec, contact tower on 118.08.
Okay. Off we go.
Charlie Bravo Echo Quebec.
I think we pretty much simply follow that A350 over there. It's probably easiest. But now we've understood our routing anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Echo Charlie Whiskey Bravo Golf, runway 36 right taxi via Charlie 1.
So, brake check.
Alpha Mike 1.
Pressure
Alpha
0.
2, Mike, Echo Charlie 2, Echo Charlie, November, Yankee 2.
I tell you honestly,
Runway 36
these
taxi via Charlie 1, Mike, Alpha Mike 1,
taxiway
Alpha,
names
Alpha
here
Zulu 2,
are annoying.
Mike, Echo
In the real
Charlie
world,
2,
they would probably have had a
Charlie,
standard
November,
routing, and they
Yankee
would
2,
just have
Echo
said
Charlie, Whiskey
taxi
Bravo,
via Echo Alpha Bravo Zulu 3 or something like that. Maybe I've given you the gate as well. So something like taxi via gate 12 Bravo Zulu 3. That would probably have been the real world phraseology here. Welcome to Spain. Strange taxiway names.
Iberia 801 ready to taxi. Iberia 801. Runway
Okay,
36
so
left taxi
we'll make a
via
priority
Delta
out of leaving the apron, and once we clear the apron, then we are going to bother with the procedures and stuff like that.
Runway 36 left taxi via Delta 3, Romeo Alpha Zulu 3, Romeo 8, Zulu 2, Iberia 801.
So here's gate 12. We'll do a right-hand turn over here. Okay, and then we're in gate 12 over here. Bravo 4 is off to the left. And then Zulu 3 will be somewhere over there. Okay. So, no changes to the briefing. Then we are just waiting for the cabin to get ready.
Iberia 6403. Contact tower on 118.08. Bye-bye.
118.08, Iberia 6403. Bye-bye. Madrid Tower, Iberia 6403, ready for departure.
Iberia 6403. Heavy, Barajas Tower. Runway 36 left, hold short. You're number 1 behind the A350.
Hold short 36 left, Iberia 6403. Okay. No, don't stop here. Keep rolling. Alright, taxi checklist. Flight controls checked. Config, flap setting, conv 2. Radar and predictive wind shear. On and auto, engine start selector, norm, PCAM memo, takeoff. No blue. Taxi checklist complete. So the A350 is departing. And we're pretty much ready to go. Let's see, lineup checklist next, and we can already pre-select that departure chart, which is gone from the recent charts as well. Okay, yeah, bug. Here it is, Zulu Mike Romeo 2 November. Okay, so we need this and departure 12423.
Iberia 6403. Heavy, runway 36 left. Winds calm, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 36 left, clear for takeoff, Iberia 6403 Heavy. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Okay. Lineup checklists. Takeoff runway, 36 left for length, TCAS, Tara, PAX 1 and 2, off, lineup checklist complete. Okay, we've got plenty of runway available here. Are you ready for rolling takeoff? Take it that's a yes.
On runway 36 left.
Checked. Spoilers. Here we go. Manflex 44, SRS, auto thrust blue. Thrust set. 100 knots, checked. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Nav, checked. Alright, passing Sierra Sierra Yankee.
Iberia 6403, contact departure on 124.23.
124.23, Iberia 6403. Madrid departure, Iberia 6403 Heavy, passing 3,700, climbing 13,000. Thrust climb, auto thrust.
Iberia 6403, Heavy, Barajas departure identified. Climb flight level 130.
Climbing flight level 130, Iberia 6403. So guys, you want an A340 that doesn't climb very well? Here you have one. So, Pack 2 is coming on. That 220 restriction up there is just annoying.
Contact civil control on 133.35.
133.35, Iberia 6403. Okay, pull speed 210. Civil control, Iberia 6403 Heavy, passing 5,400, climbing flight level 130.
Iberia 6403, civil control identified. Good afternoon, El Modar QNH 1008.
1008, Iberia 6403. Set QNH. (1008) cross check, passing 5.8. Now, checked. So, always remember not to confuse a config 2 departure.
6403, climb flight level 240.
Climbing flight level 240, Iberia 6403. 23,000 blue. So never confuse a config 2 departure with config 1 plus F. In 1 plus F, when you accelerate through 210, the flaps retract automatically. In config 2, they do not. So if you now fly it right up here to the 220, you are going to be in a flap over speed, and you cannot expect the airplane to prevent that. In 1 plus F, the plane prevents that.
Iberia 6403, contact Madrid control on 132.55.
122.55, Iberia 6403. Madrid control, Iberia 6403 Heavy, passing 76, climbing level 230. Must have been 133. Typical Spanish. Madrid control, Iberia 6403 Heavy, passing level 64, climbing level 230. Okay, flaps 1, manage speed. Still no contact. Iberia 6403, please say again.
6-403, civil control identified. Good afternoon.
Uh-huh. Okay, so we do need another 1000 feet before we can retract the flaps completely, since ATC did not relieve us of the 250 knots. You could expect that they do know about those restrictions at the home base, so I'm completely fine with it the way it is.
Climb, flight level 270.
Climbing flight level 270, Iberia 6403. 27,000 blue. Here we go, passing 10,000, flaps 0. Speed checked, flaps 0.
Dear guests, the use of approved electronic devices is now permitted in flight mode. Our cabin service will begin shortly. Thank you.
Okay, so acceleration flow pattern, flaps up, spoilers retracted, gear up and packs on. And yeah, then we can do the 10,000 foot pattern as well. Lights off, seatbelts are going to remain on for the time being. We will have no problems meeting the 13,000 restrictions, so let's already go over to airports over here, and the same over there. Like that. Well, and then FMS, clear copy, but before we do that, autopilot 1. Let's just make our lives easy here. Okay, so fix info, let's delete this, and let's delete this, and let's delete this. RadNav, we can remove this and this. Secondary, copy active, and then we got level 320, level 322, and level 359. I think that looks fantastic, so we are good to go. Okay, beautiful. Well then, I'd say that is it for the time being. I will just wait until the acceleration is completed here and until we clear the mountains before turning the seatbelt signs off, because mountains usually come with turbulence and we definitely do not want that right now, do we? But look at that fantastic view. Marvelous airplane, isn't it? And when it looks good, you gotta admit it looks good. Doesn't always look good yet though. I'm sure we'll get there. Alright then, I'd say for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us, and then I'll get back to you when we start the approach into Mexico City. Alright my friends, we've just been cleared out to Octane, And that does put us a little high on the approach here.
0 for 13,000. Iberia 6403, Mexico control identified. Good afternoon.
So yeah, that does put us a little high on the approach here, but luckily we have already reduced our speed earlier so that we can start speeding up a little bit now in order to resume that descent path. Do note that I'm waiting a little bit with the extension of the speed brake, because if I'd extend them at that low speed over here, we would immediately ram into the VLS band, which would cause automatic retraction of the speed brakes again. So right now we just have to use open descent mode, accelerate a little bit, and once we're a little higher on speed, that's all solved. Now, don't be surprised, we are not as high as it actually looks. If we look down here, we can see we are just 4,700 feet above the profile, and that's because Mexico City Airport is located at a landing elevation of 7,290 feet. So we are actually just about at 16,000, and right now we got 45 miles to go. So yeah, we are a little high, but it's not as bad as it looks. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the approach that we are going to fly. And I think now that we got a nice amount of speed, we may as well extend the speed brakes in order to help the airplane get down. So first things first, we are cleared down 13,000. We are about to approach the transition altitude here. So set QNH. And here we go. 3024 is cross-checked, passing 21 now. Okay, lovely. And now full speed brakes. Let's get down. Weather is not going to be a threat for the arrival, so I'm going to go onto terrain, and the same on your side, please. And yeah, then I think we can start talking about the approach preparation over here. So threats for the arrival, honestly just the terrain. Anything else is easy going today. Alright, so we're inbound to Octen for the ILS Yankee approach runway 05 right, starting with an MSA of 12,500 and in the south up to 20,000. Minimum 7,566, and we are looking at extra fuel, well, at a go-around, right turn out, climbing 12,500, and the extra fuel in time is 4.9 tons, 32 minutes. Okay, now for the approach itself, we are going to fly this.
Direct Yucatan, then asphalt, please.
That's what we're doing anyway. Okay, so for the approach itself, we are going to fly this using flight director guidance, config full, auto brakes 2 and maximum reverse to vacate the runway to the left-hand side. The stop margin today is 1,071 meters, and we have one threat for the arrival, that's crossing of runway 05 left. Okay, well, we're waiting for our FO to answer this. Lights, signs, constraints, and LS.
Iberia 6403.
Like this. Okay, beautiful. Good.
Mexico approach, Iberia 6403. Good afternoon, descending 17,000 for 13,000.
Iberia 6403. Heavy Mexico approach identified. Good afternoon, Mexico QNH 1024. Cleared UK-10 transition. Descend altitude 10,000. QNH 1024. Cleared for the ILS Yankee runway 05 right approach into Mexico.
Okay, that's 10,000 blue. Well then, let's have our answer that call. And yeah, for Octen we gotta have 210 knots, so flaps 1.
QNH 1024.
Speed checked.
10,000.
Flaps 1.
Cleared UK-10 transition. Cleared for the ILS Yankee runway 05 right approach into Mexico.
And that's pretty much exactly the S speed, so manage speed and activate approach phase. Here we go. Okay, nice. So we're basically already back on profile, and then we are now also slowing it down, and that's about it then. Okay, lovely. So let's continue that briefing. Hotspots for taxiing and crossing at runway 05 left, and the rest is easy. Do you have questions on that part? So specials, due to the high altitude, we'll have a very high ground speed. Final approach speed today 154 plus whatever it takes for the task factor. I would expect something about 170 knots or so. Only a light headwind as well, so very high ground speed, which is going to lead to a high rate of descent. So might have to flare a little bit earlier. Let's say we flare at 50 and then just put it down. We do have sufficient stop margin available for the approach. Yeah, nothing non-standard, and threats for the arrival, hard landing. So you have a good look that I'm flaring the airplane on time. Also remember, there seems to be something wrong with the radio altimeter in this plane, that it makes its calls a little bit too late, so we gotta have that in mind as well. Well, that's pretty much it. So, if there are no further questions, then let's do the approach checklist, please. Power ref, QNH 3024, seatbelts on, minimum, MDA 7566, auto brake, 2, engine start selector, norm, approach checklist complete.
Altimeter 7.
No, definitely not.
Altimeter 7.
Still not. Okay, flaps 2. Speed checked. Well, let's get that speed brake back out again. So just to verify, 3024 is correct. Okay. 1000 to go. You can see what I mean with the task factor. We're at 193 indicated, but 235 ground and 230 true. So the glass globe is coming alive. We are cleared for the approach. Lock start, Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2, glass globe blue. So let's go down to 8,900 from where we are going to intercept that ILS. Checked.
Iberia 6403, contact Mexico Tower on 118.55.
Alright, there's our runway in sight.
Switching to Mexico
Speed,
Tower
glass globe
on
star.
1.8.55. Iberia 6403.
Okay, speed brake is in. And go around altitude set.
Mexico Tower, Iberia 6403.
Okay, gear down.
Good afternoon.
Flaps 3.
Established on the ILS runway 05 right approach.
And flaps full. Speed check, flaps full.
Mexico Tower, Roger, continue approach. Iberia 640.
Landing checklist, ECA memo, landing no blue. Landing checklist complete.
5 right, clear to land.
Okay, so looking at this, ground speed 180, so we're looking at a rate of descent of 900 feet a minute on the final.
Iberia 6403 heavy.
Alright, lovely. Then I'm going to take back the comms.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now beginning our final approach into Mexico City. Please turn off all electronic devices and stow them until we arrive at the
Okay,
gate.
manual flight.
Your tray tables are put away. Your seats are in their full upright
Cat 1.
position, and your seatbelts are
Tracked.
fastened. Our assigned gate is Terminal 1, 33A. The weather at our destination is currently 23 degrees Celsius with scattered clouds. Thank you for your cooperation as we prepare for landing.
Yeah, the sync rate warning seems to be a little sensitive here.
Right.
That's checked. So about 900 feet a minute as normal. Land. No, no pull up. That sync rate is nonsense. Continue. Again, touchdown on the 10 call. God, I hate this. Spoilers, reverse green. And decel.
Iberia 6403, welcome to Mexico. Contact ground on
70 knots.
121.0.
Manual brakes. 121.0, Iberia 6403. Okay, kindly tune that for me, please. Mexico ground, Iberia 6403, request taxi to gate 30.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mexico City. Did you know that Mexico City is built on the ruins of the ancient Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan? Thank you for flying with Iberia. Please remain seated until we reach our final parking position. On behalf of your flight crew, thank you for flying with Iberia. The local time is 12:28 p.m. For those connecting, please note the following upcoming flights. Flight IB 322.
Iberia 6403, holding short runway 23 right, and later on gate 30 via Echo Bravo 9 Bravo Charlie November.
Your time in the city.
So it's 23 degrees, that means we can retract the flaps. Iberia 6403, request to cross runway 05 left. After landing checklist, radar and predictive wind shear off. After landing checklist complete.
403, cross runway 05 left, approved.
Crossing runway 05 left approved, Iberia 6403. Okay, lovely. So we're clear to cross, and the left side is about as clear as I can see it. The right side is clear for sure. Okay, strobes on and crossing.
Approaching 23 right.
So, Bravo 9 Bravo, Charlie, November to the gate. Respectively, we're gonna go via Bravo and then Charlie, November to the gate. Okay, routing is understood. And Bravo is off to the left-hand side over here.
Iberia 6403, cross runway 23 right, then continue taxi via Bravo.
That comes a little bit late.
Charlie November.
Yeah, we have already crossed it, thank you. Alright. So let's start the APU. And the strobes can come back off. We're at a pretty high elevation over here, so I'm going to keep our engines all running, not going to do single engine taxi or something.
Runway 5 left taxi via Charlie November, Bravo American 390.
Okay, so give me those parking gates, please. 30 is over there. No, we're gonna park over here. 27 or 25, one of those. Probably 25. That's why they did park in the real world last time. So, gate 25 not available, okay, then we use 26, fine with me as well. No follow me required. Well, my friends, welcome to Mexico City. That's definitely an interesting approach. Unfortunately, a little positive landing here. But yeah, what can you do? If the radio altimeter is lagging some 10 or 15 feet behind, then can't do a proper landing with that. You just can't. So, don't blame me, blame Tolis. Nonetheless, that was definitely an interesting approach to fly. Unfortunately, we found quite a couple of bugs on this approach. All the sync rate warnings, which were undue. Then we had the problem with the GPWS, well, the rest of the GPWS. And yeah, then the radio altimeter issue, that the plane did not exactly assist us with this landing. I think that's what we can say for sure. Interesting to see that we just taxied over an airplane in our taxi camera. Okay, so we're going on 26, that's that one. The lights off. And here's 26. Okay, let's make that nice and slow. APU bleed on. Look at how the taxi camera differs from the view outside. Okay, thank you, that's it. I'm not gonna crash into the jetway. And here we are. So, parking brake is set, APU bleed is on. 4, 3, 2, 1. Cabin crew, all doors and park. And here we are. Engines are running down, then let's request deboarding. Waiting for the slides to get disarmed. What was that? Did you see the flaps turn amber? That's not supposed to happen. Alright, and now comes the difficult thing. Nope, the other way around. Okay. Parking checklist. Parking brake are chocks. Brake set, engines off, fuel pumps off, parking checklist complete. Alright then, let's do our post-flight stuff. Ground services, chocks in place, external power can be connected. Then let's go ahead and get ourselves an air conditioning unit as well. So that's going to be low pressure air, connect. And then we've got that stuff done. Transponder goes off. Fuel used 95.6 and we were supposed to use 99. Okay, so we have once again saved around 4,000 kilos fuel. Okay, just like on the previous flight. Well, that is so noted. I'm not going to comment on that any further. I'll leave it to Tolis to investigate that, but there definitely seems to be an issue with the fuel usage here. We pretty much flew our flight exactly as per the flight plan, so shouldn't have saved 4,000 kilos, which is, you know, half an hour of fuel. Okay, so that's that stuff done. Then let's see about our IRS drift. Again, over here you'll probably notice different ground speed readings on both sides. Got ground speed 1 over here and 3 over here. which is normal for the IRS drifting. And we can see that over here as well. IRS 1 is at 2, 2 is at 3.1, 3 is at 4.7. That's okay, that's all within limits, and then we can switch them off. Okay, well, and that's it. From here we are... What's the FMA doing? Strange. Okay, yeah, from here let's get up into the hotel. And in the meantime, for you guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.